Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's video, there are quite a few different things going on right now that have caused a drop on Bitcoin. As you will probably have already heard, Bitcoin has dropped roughly $1,000 over the last 24 hours and is currently sitting at $67,800. While we're very excited to see that Bitcoin has been rallying and, building support here above $67,000, this correction comes as a concern for a few. Some of the reasons that this correction could be occurring have everything to do from Donald Trump's guilty verdict and him being a major cryptocurrency proponent nowadays, and also the fact that the CPI data is going to be coming out a little bit later, and people are concerned about that. So we're going to be talking about all of that and more in today's episode of Coffee and Crypto Live and seeing where we think the market is going to go next. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, my name is Jeb McAfee, and it is my calling in life to help you become successful with finances. And as we get started here, I want to tell you a bit of a personal story. Last night, my wife, who is 27 weeks and 5 days into our pregnancy with our soon-to-be third child, our second son, began contracting. And if you don't know, that's what it means when you're about to give birth. If you know anything about pregnancy, you will know that that is about 12 weeks early, which would be very bad because that would mean our son would be born at about 2.5 pounds and would likely need to be in the neonatal intensive care unit for probably about a month and a half. This happened with our daughter Charity, and when little Cher Bear was in the womb, she tried to come out about 7 times early, and so we had to spend a night or two in labor and delivery almost every other week there for the entirety of the third trimester. We're now moving into the third trimester, and we just barely avoided having to go to the hospital last night. So please be praying for my wife and that the baby will stay in, and please have a little bit of grace on me if some of the content isn't exactly on schedule. I'm going to do my very best to be here on time, and I'm going to do my very best that all the content will be going out on schedule. But obviously, as you guys know, or if you don't know, I will tell you, a baby coming that early is extremely dangerous and in the wrong. If it's not handled delicately, it basically could mean certain death. So we're going to do our very best to make sure she's taken care of. That's my top priority for the next few months. But we are going to be here right now today. She's in the other room. She's going to text me if she needs anything. She knows full well she can interrupt the stream. If she does, then you guys are going to see this screen right here, and I'm going to be out, but I think we're going to be okay. She's feeling all right now. Things calm down. I'll keep you guys posted, but for now, please be praying for us. And the reason that I brought that up was not just to inform you guys, but also to let you guys know about a bit of a story, and it will lead into our content today. I'm going to tie this in. You see, over the last 7 years, I have been building our wealth. Now, we met and got married a little over 2 years ago. But during the time that I was building my wealth, before we ever met, I knew in the back of my mind, one day I want to get married. One day I want to have kids. I would sit there under the bench press and I'd say, one day I want to be able to defend my wife, right? I would say, one day when I meet my wife, which I had not met yet, but now I have, and she's awesome. Her name's Sarah. One day when I meet with my wife, I want to be able to provide for her. I want to be able to provide safety for her. I want to be able to provide financially for her. And it's because I put that work in over the course of years that, let's say I had to step away for a month or two. We'd be able to do that because we are financially sovereign and we're in a position where I'm able to do that. Should we have a baby come and be in the NICU, we're able to go quite a long time without an income because we have built our finances appropriately. And that's why I wanted to share this story with you guys, not just so that you know what's going on and so you guys can hopefully have a little bit of grace with me. I'm going to do my very best to be on schedule. But of course, if things go wrong, I do apologize. That being said, I also want to give you guys an example and say, look, we've put the work in. We've been on budgets. Debt is not something that we do. We are building our life in a way that is financially sovereign so that when a traumatic experience like this is looking like it could have happened, then we have the financial backing that that's not something we have to stress about. Finances are one of the biggest stressors in the entire world, and that's especially true in my experience for the men. And so if you have a wife that is in the situation that my wife is in right now, where the baby is threatening to come over 10 weeks early, almost 3 weeks early, almost 3 months early, the last thing you want is to be worrying about, oh my gosh, the NICU bills. We've got insurance. Oh my gosh, what happens if it goes over? We've got money. You know, the last thing you want to be worrying about is money. I'm not trying to brag. I'm letting you know that choosing financial sovereignty, which is what we're going to be talking about also today on today's episode of Coffee and Crypto and FinSoft Friday here, there's a reason to do that. So that if I have to step away and we have to go to the NICU, then we can do that. So very excited to be here, though. Very, very excited to be here, even though I was up till about 1 a.m. trying to make sure I kept an eye on her last night. But really do appreciate all of you for tuning in. So let's have a good stream, and I do appreciate all of the Christians in the chat praying for my wife. Don't worry about me. You can pray for me if you want, but mainly pray for my wife, Sarah, and our baby boy who is on his way. Everything that we can see, he's healthy so far, but we want to make sure he stays in there in that little slice of heaven he's in for right now, because that is the best place for a baby. The NICU is awesome, and those people are absolutely magnificent, but if he can stay in the womb, that would be good. All right, let's read some chat, and then we'll get into some crypto, because I know that's what you came for. Paul Torelli is in chat, said good morning. Brian is in chat. Bob Riley's in chat. Sean O'Brien's in chat. Eric Banks, Joe Bollier. Ernesto is in chat. Elia Torres, Desinformados is in chat. Good to see you. One House Productions, JD Fit, FPV said, good morning, my friend Jib. Good morning to you as well. Carter Pennington, Vasil, Carter Pennington, yep. Malvin said, our pregnancy, this dude right here, man, bro. I'm not sure what you're saying. Bob Riley's in chat, said, good morning, brother. And prayers for you and your family. Thank you so much. One House Production, Alex Nybo, Shadrach Frost. Eric Banks said, Jeb, my mother worked NICU, and those people are God-sent angels on earth. Prayers for the baby boy. Absolutely. People that care for other people, they're absolutely incredible, incredible people. You and your family are in my prayers. Thank you so much. We got a lot of people, hundreds of people probably praying for, even before this stream, praying for my wife. So thank you guys, and God's good, and he's going to, everything's going to go according to his plan. All right. Let's do it. I know we've got a lot to cover, and we are a little late, so let's get started. Bitcoin is currently trading at $67,739. It is literally perfectly sideways in the last 7 days. Oh, well, it just went down 0.03%. Bitcoin is trading at almost the exact same level right now as it was a week ago, and that is the overall sentiment in the space right now. There's not much going on. The sentiment in the space is not much. That's what's going on right now. And so Ethereum is much in the same boat. We're down slightly over the last hour, but in the last 7 days, we have moved less than 2%. Binance has basically traded sideways. Solana has basically traded sideways in the last 7 days. There's a little bit of volatility on Solana, but it's looking a little bit like a what am I trying to say here? It's looking a little bit like a stable coin if you look at the chart over there. Keeping track of my wife. She's just letting me know how things are going. All right. XRP is down 3% over the last 7 days. Dogecoin down 3.4% over the last 7 days. Cardano down 2.19% in the last 7 days, but Toncoin is up, and so is SHIB. As I mentioned, guys, it's kind of a slow news week. Not much going on in the actual charts. That being said, the fundamentals are quite serious. So, if we go ahead and bring an article up here, I will go ahead and let you guys know about another piece of news. As you guys know, I'm just going to kind of run down the list here. Donald Trump was found guilty on all 34 charges in the hush money trial. So if you don't know what's going on here, I'm not going to get into a bunch of it, but this is a trial that he essentially paid Stormy Daniels to not say something that they had done together. And so I'm not going to get into a bunch of details because it's kind of crude. But what I will say is that this is an extremely political event. Everyone is talking about this, and this is going to have implications for all facets of American life. And honestly, all facets of global life. There are quite a few different angles here, and so I'm going to try and break them down in as much of a fair and journalistic way as possible. I'm not going to get into whether I think he's guilty or not. The judge found him guilty. Donald Trump and a bunch of people say it's fraud and nonsense. Who knows? I know I don't. What I'm going to tell you in the next 5 minutes or so are the implications that this is going to have on the rest of American society, on the stock market, on cryptocurrency, and how it's going to impact you and your investment, because it will. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind here. Donald Trump has come out in favor of Bitcoin. As you already know, Bitcoin was basically an enemy of his. Not many years ago, in 2021, Donald Trump did not like Bitcoin. He thought it was a scam, and he thought that it was a threat to the stability of the United States dollar and to the global financial system. He has since rescinded that argument, and I've got a feeling that he probably realizes he's gonna need to have the cryptocurrency vote to be able to win in November. He is almost certainly going to be the nominee. He's a politician unlike we've seen in a very, very, very long time. Very abnormal. He's not a normal politician, and so he probably realizes that to get past the different roadblocks that he's running into, such as this, he's going to need the cryptocurrency market's vote. And so him coming out in favor of cryptocurrency has been very good for the cryptocurrency space, because it's led millions of people to take an interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for the first time over the course of the next several years. Many of those people will probably become cryptocurrency enthusiasts, but of course those seeds will take time to plant. I was not a YouTuber with 250,000 subscribers in the cryptocurrency space overnight. That took years. So the people that are finding cryptocurrency today and making their Coinbase accounts for the first time, and they're taking their first steps, and they're going to preschool for the first time, and they're starting to get into cryptocurrency, those people that just started getting into crypto 2 weeks ago because of Donald Trump saying something will likely turn into, some of them will become whales, some of them will become cryptocurrency enthusiasts. But the issue here becomes if that, a lot of people are looking for, many people are thinking that if Donald Trump wins the presidency, then he's going to be very pro cryptocurrency. If he does not win the presidency, then it could lead to this situation where Joe Biden just kind of says, whatever, because he obviously doesn't like cryptocurrency. He has not been a proponent of the cryptocurrency market. He is now only trying to actually make amends with the cryptocurrency space in response to Donald Trump. So should Joe Biden win, I find it pretty likely that the government would remain relatively anti-cryptocurrency on the executive side. The legislative side has been pushing pro-cryptocurrency legislation for the last several weeks pretty hard. The FIT 21 bill passing and the anti-CBDC bill passing both through Congress within a week of each other shows that the Congress right now is very much in favor of cryptocurrency. Biden has not been. His appointee to the Securities and Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler, obviously we know the story on that. So that's kind of part of the implication of how it will impact the cryptocurrency space. On a societal level, we've never really seen this kind of thing happen. We've never seen a president, be found guilty of something and then go on to have a successful political career. But there's a lot of things that Donald Trump has done that have never been done before. So this is really setting a new precedent, I think, for how politics are going to go in the United States over the course of the 21st century. We're going to have to pay very close attention to that November 2024 election, because if he does get elected, even after being found guilty of these things, it definitely raises some questions about what politics is going to look like moving forward. Historically, this kind of thing, think back to Watergate, would have ruined just about any politician's, even a president's political career. We're going to see if that's the case for Donald Trump. And of course, how will this impact the stock market? Well, as far as the stock market is concerned, the stock market is very much anti instability. The stock market thrives on stability. And whether you think Donald Trump is trying to overthrow democracy or not, I'm not going to get into the middle of that, because to be totally honest with you, I have some opinions that are pro-Trump. I have a lot of opinions that are not pro-Trump, because I'm not pro any politician. I'm pro-Jesus. And so if somebody acts like Christ, I like that in them. If they don't, I don't like that in them. So let me be very crystal clear. I am not pro-Trump. I am not pro-Biden. I am pro-Christ. And I'm pro-Christianity, and I am pro what is right and moral and ethical. And some political stances I will agree with Trump on, and some political stances I will agree with Biden on. If I've not been clear about that, feel free to rewind the stream. What I will say is that whether you agree with Trump or not, there is a large bulwark of people in the United States that are currently likening Donald Trump to Caesar. And they're likening Biden to several of the other politicians that were alive at the time. And so that is and I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm just saying that a lot of people are looking at Donald Trump like this kind of guy that's trying to overthrow democracy. And so when you have a huge amount of the stock market's electorate, if you will, the people that buy and sell the stock market are almost voting with their money. Are we gonna send the market up, or are we gonna send the market down? The bulls and the bears kind of get a vote by buying and selling. And so when you have a lot of people working in the stock market, they're thinking, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Then what are they going to do? They're going to pull out of the stock market because the stock market is pro-stability. If there is political instability going on in the United States, then that is going to naturally lead to a drop in the stock market because the stock market thrives in stability. I talk about this quite often in coaching. I talk about this when I'm talking to people about their marriages. You cannot build anything in a war zone. If you and your spouse are at war, you can't build anything. You were not building infrastructure in the middle of France in 1941. You weren't doing that. The only thing you were building was tanks, right? Well, not even, because they'd already been overrun. But you get the point. You're not building new infrastructure in the middle of a war zone. No, you are just barely hanging on. You are throwing everything into the war effort. And so in a marriage, in a business, in anything, when you are in the middle of active war, it's very difficult to build anything. Sometimes you have to go to war. In the financial sovereignty way, you have to go through two wars. You have to go through a war of chaos, a war on chaos, and you have to go through a war on debt, because sometimes war is necessary. But you're not going to be able to build long-term infrastructure in a conflict zone. And so when people detect that there is conflict going on in the political realm that could be this serious, like Trump, don't like him, agree with the judge, don't agree with the judge, I think we can all agree this is a very serious and very destabilizing piece of news. That is naturally going to lead to a drop on the stock market. And it's for that reason that I think the stock market has been dropping over the last 20 hours or so since Trump was read the verdict about 20 hours ago. About 20 hours ago, the United States stock market looked like it was about to rally back up above $524, which was its previous all-time high. But then that news came out and the stock market began to drop. That seems insignificant. Well, Jeb, Donald Trump and this news caused the market to drop 0.86%. Big whoop. Well, here's the problem. Yesterday, the United States stock market had a chance to only put a candle wick down here below 524. Instead, it closed below 524 and we dropped even farther. This is the first time in many years that we have broken bearish beneath a formerly set all-time high. When we broke 480, the level that we set right before the Russo-Ukrainian war began, we never came back down and fell below the all-time high. In this instance, we broke briefly above 524, the all-time high set on April the 1st, and then just like an April Fool's joke, it went down in smoke. And so Bitcoin has been the stock market has been correcting down from there. That sets a precedent that can be relatively freaky. You know, we had an all-time high set here right before COVID on the 3rd of March, 2020. The market never fell back below the all-time high for a very long time. When the United States stock market was set a major high, we wouldn't fall back beneath it. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. This is probably the biggest way that this is going to impact the stock market, because this news seemingly has led to a change in what the charts are showing over on the S&P 500. So we will be paying very, very close attention to that. What I will say is, no matter what you think of the trial, no matter what you think of Stormy Daniels, no matter what you think of Trump, I don't really care what you think about all of it. What I think is that it doesn't really matter who's right. What matters is that it is destabilizing, and a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. When you have a married couple or two siblings or two co-owners of a business sitting there and bickering, at some point it becomes less about who's right and it becomes about the bickering. At some point it becomes less about who's right and it becomes about the fact that it needs to stop, because the war is causing instability and you can't grow in a war zone. Here's a problem, though. Political commentary has become a sport in the United States, and so there will almost always be some degree of... Malvin said Trump finna win from prison, then pardon himself once he takes presidential seat. Man, that'd be the most gangsta move in history. I don't know if it'd be gangsta, but what I will say is it would be it would put our political system to the test, because we've never seen something like that happen, because technically a president can pardon himself. Nixon actually had the ability to pardon himself. He chose not to, but it can. Technically, I don't think there's anything in the Constitution that says a sitting president cannot do that. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Very interested to see what happens. Drink of choice this morning is hot chocolate. As you guys know, I quit caffeine. Even moving into a newborn season, I'm not going to be having Caffeine, hot chocolate, man, a warm beverage soothes the soul. Let's keep it moving. We got a lot to talk about. Stock market's dropping. What does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, naturally, Bitcoin follows the United States S&P 500. So with the S&P 500 breaking support, we shouldn't be surprised that Bitcoin is also. There's an uptrending level of support right here. And this is kind of how Donald Trump's indictment, or guilty charge, I guess you should say, impacts the Bitcoin market. With the stock market dropping through support, Bitcoin is now sitting right above this uptrending level of support right here, this white uptrend right there. And so if Bitcoin does begin breaking through that, our next price target of $64,567 would kick into effect. And so we would want to be seeing if Bitcoin was going to fall back down to this level. I predict a couple of weeks of instability following this news from Donald Trump, especially since he has become very quickly, almost become the thought leader of the space. Again, whether you like it or not, he is kind of the biggest name in cryptocurrency right now. And so we're going to see what happens here. I think that Bitcoin is going to have a good bit of instability. I think it's going to be difficult for Bitcoin to go through a major rally with what's going on with the stock market. If stocks bounce, then Bitcoin will likely bounce as well. But with stocks going through a correction, Bitcoin's probably going to follow suit. We've been seeing a corrective movement on Bitcoin ever since the United States S&P 500 opened. Sorry, ever since the United States stock market opened right at 9:30. As you can see, the second the market opened, we began a drop, and within 3 minutes, Bitcoin had dropped $500, almost 1%. In 3 minutes, Bitcoin drops 1%. That is very, very substantial. Now, it's funny because when the market opened, we actually rallied for 15 minutes, and then the S&P 500 actually began to drop. But people are starting to realize, okay, S&P 500, stock market, Bitcoin very closely correlated. So if there's a major correction going on S&P, then the very same thing may be occurring on Bitcoin. And so we'll see what happens, but I do believe that Bitcoin is going to have a hard time staying bullish over the next few days, but the medium to longer term perspective is still very bullish. While on the daily chart, we've got a bearish MACD cross that has come in and confirmed, while we've lost momentum and the bulls have kind of given up the gas pedal here. And while the Ethereum market is moving ever closer towards a bearish MACD cross, we are still seeing quite a few longer term bullish fundamentals and technicals. On the 3 daily chart for Ethereum, we've got a bullish cross and the momentum on the Crypto Jeb Oscillator, which you can get access to by going to luxalgo.com/Jeb and signing up for any plan. The Crypto Jeb Oscillator is showing that the bulls are gaining strength. And we are also seeing, similar signs of bullishness that could be coming out of several other altcoins. And even over here on the Dixie, we're currently looking at a drop, which is potentially bullish for Bitcoin. So all of that to say, Bitcoin's going to have a difficult couple of weeks, but I do think that Bitcoin's going to be able to continue this uptrend that it has been building for the last month or so. It just is going to need a bit of a break. Now, if you need a break from getting hacked, because I just heard about an individual having someone hack into their Coinbase yesterday. If you want a break from getting hacked and having your things stolen, one of the best things you can do is sign up for NordVPN. And the reason is because if a hacker can't see you, they can't steal from you. And so what NordVPN does is it protects you by shrouding your identity so that people cannot see you as you browse online. They can't get your information, and if they can't see you, they can't hack you. And so NordVPN helps to keep you invisible so that you can stay safe. So make sure to sign up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below or by going to nordvpn.com/Jeb. All right, let's read a little bit of chat. All right, let's see. My understanding is he cannot pardon because it's a state charge. Oh, okay, maybe he can. Yeah, I'm not sure. It is. It was New York versus Donald Trump, so that's true. Check the autofocus. It's resolved. Yeah. Technically, there is caffeine in chocolate. Ah, maybe that's why I enjoy it. All right. BTC like a toxic X right now. Let's see. All right, we're going to read some chat. Many comments on all of this in chat. As I said, guys, I am not pro either one of the candidates. I am pro Jesus. I am pro Christ, and I'm pro anybody who acts as close to that as possible. And that's their intention and their heart. I don't, honestly, I'm not really sure if either one of them are that way. But May the may the Lord bless our nation, put it that way. God bless America. Lord, we pray for Jeb, Sarah, and their baby who may come early. Give them strength, peace, and faith. Guide the medical team and protect their baby with love. Amen. Thank you, Shadrach Frost. I do appreciate that. People are asking if a president, can he even be president if convicted as a convict? Yeah, so that's an interesting question. That's kind of what I'm getting at, is that the political system in the United States has never had to deal with this because, for the most part, the nation has been unified enough, and even during times like the Civil War, the nation has, for the most part, been unified enough, and people had decency enough not to do things that would get them in these situations. I mean, like or hate Donald Trump, I'll tell you what, he, you got to be careful who you hang around, because even if you think the lady's lying and just made everything up, you still got to be careful who you hang around, right? I don't know if she is or not. I have no idea. I've got no clue whether he's actually guilty or not. I'm just telling you the news. Right, Walter Cronkite here. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not bipartisan, but unbiased as much as I can be. That being said, what I will say is that this is not something that the nation has run into before. We've not run into an area where someone has been convicted of felony charges. Excuse me, let me make sure I'm saying that right. I'm not actually, as far as not necessarily felony charges, but convicted of a crime. Let's put it that way, on 34 counts. We've never really seen this happen, so we don't really exactly know what happens from here. 34 felony counts, yep. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know exactly what's going to happen here. Technically, as far as I'm aware, there's nothing in the Constitution that can stop someone who has been convicted from running. The law in the United States of America, in the Constitution, actually, is that you have to have been born. Have been born in the United States. You can't become a naturalized citizen and run. You have to be born in the United States. You have to be over the age of 35 years old. And you have to, well, that's about it, actually. You have to be born in the United States and you have to be over the age of 35. If you do those two things, then you can pretty much run for president. That's kind of how I couldn't run for president. I'm not 35. But if you're over 35 and you're born in America, you can run for president. That's kind of the long and short of it. So, definitely interested to see what's going to happen. Let's see. Yes, he can run for president. Yes, he can vote for himself because New York State allows felons to vote. Florida reverts to the convicting state's rules. Gotcha. God bless America. This is a very pivotal time. Absolutely. I'd love to hear all of your opinions on all of this mess in the comment section down below. And guys, by the way, make sure that if you have not already, make sure to hit the like button and also make sure to check out Uphold's Vault. I am very excited to be sharing this product with you guys. Uphold in and of itself is an incredible cryptocurrency exchange. And if you sign up with Vault down below, you'll also be getting access to Vault, which is a great cryptocurrency exchange. But at the same time, when you sign up for Vault, you'll be getting access to their assisted key replacement service and access to instant trading. And so basically the way this works is that, one, you're able to access the markets instantly, which is great. You can't do that with a lot of cold wallets. And two, you also have access to a wallet that will store your Bitcoin and your XRP in a way where you have 3 keys. Uphold keeps one of them securely, and then you keep 2 of them securely. Should you lose a key, Uphold's key will stand in the place of the missing key, and the 2 keys can open the wallet. That way, you're able to get into the cryptocurrency wallet at any time should you lose a key, which happens. There are people all around the world that have lost what at the time might have been several $1,000s worth of Bitcoin might now be worth several $100 million worth of Bitcoin. And they are still trying to get that Bitcoin back. There's a guy in England who's been looking for a wallet in a landfill for over 10 years. Still hadn't found it. He thought he got all the Bitcoin off of it. There was some Bitcoin on it, and now it's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. He's been raising money to go through this landfill for years. He's tried to shut the thing down. It's a very very complicated process. And so you don't want to lose your private keys. It's not a good thing. It's not a good idea. You want to make sure that you invest in the security architecture that you need to ensure that you are safe and securing things correctly. Silas E. Borg said, Uphold is super rad. Long-time user here. There you go. Gaber said, hello, Jeb. DB said, and I quote, fully on board the Trump train at this point. Love to hear your thoughts on that, everybody. All right. Guys, I also want to let you know about today's other sponsor, which is Crypto.com. If you've not already signed up for Crypto.com, you absolutely should. You are missing out. There's so much over here. If you have not signed up, check the link in the description box down below because there are so many things that are going to help you to make money in crypto. First of all, of course, they've got the recurring purchases and the ability to buy and sell, which is great. But they've also got a lot of other products. They've got Crypto.com NFTs, which you can check out over here. Come here. They got NFTs. You want NFTs? They got some nice ones. You can also come back to Crypto.com, and they've also got the Crypto.com Earn program. And this is something that I'm pretty excited about. When you stake, when you lock up your Bitcoin and your Ethereum, you can earn rewards. Isn't that great? If you lock up, let's say, 5,000 Bitcoin for 3 months, you can earn up to $200 per year in Bitcoin, right? If you lock it up for a season, you can earn rewards on your Bitcoin. Let's say you locked up $50,000. You can earn $1,000 a year. It's pretty great. So make sure to check this out with the link in the description box down below. This is a great way to earn money by locking up your cryptocurrency. Polkadot's up to 12% over here with staking. So definitely a lot of ways you can make money with Crypto.com. And so make sure that you come and check them out today. All right, let's read some chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. Good morning, Jeb. Good morning to you as well. All right. Well, I hope you all have enjoyed the stream. We are probably going to be going to the doctor sometime soon today, so I'm going to wrap it out soon. There will be a video coming out a little bit later. Tell me, have you guys been... by the way, tell me in chat, has anyone signed up for Crypto.com? Have any of you actually signed up for Crypto.com after seeing one of our ad placements? It'd be very helpful to know. And I also want to let you guys know that we are working on new pieces of content right now. So, for example, if you've watched the last 2 videos, they've been a slightly different format. Has anyone seen the last 2 videos, and what do you think about them? I'd love to hear your comments on that over in the chat. And make sure to stay tuned, because there are quite a lot of things that we have coming. Right now, we're kind of all hands on deck, making sure that Sarah and the baby are safe. And I believe that everything's going to be just fine, but we want to make sure that we are as vigilant as possible. And we are also continuing to work on the Financial Sovereignty Academy. We're looking forward to getting that launched, and definitely very excited to see where things are going to go and see how we can all come together to build financial sovereignty. We've got to continue taking steps forward, even if we take steps back sometimes. And I'm very appreciative that we could all be here together. That's going to wrap it out for today's episode of Financial Sovereignty Friday here on Coffee and Crypto Live. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.